think the most fun is going to be is probably watching you climb over me to get to your seat. Because today we're doing Sunday Fun Day Live with Quite Contrary. How's it going, everybody? It's Sunday Live. We're doing another live show. You may notice that there's no comic books everywhere. And some of you, if you follow us on social media, you probably got an alert early on that said that we were going to do Zach Bags and Boards. But two things happened. One, I forgot to read my comic books. There's about 30 of them. And the other thing is that there's something a little bit more topical that's going on today, and that is E3, and that is the Electronic Entertainment Expo. Some people don't know that, namely Frank. We were like, oh, E3's happening today. She was like, what? Oh, E3. She's like, what? And I told her it was about elbows, and she believed me. That was my audio I just heard just now.
Yeah, I'm live on Facebook too.
I'm live on Facebook too. Can you hear me on Facebook too?
Yeah, that's the audio. I just turned it up for a second to see if it worked.
Okay. Say hi, everybody. The Canon camera is Facebook, right?
Yes.
Hello, Facebook, and your phone is YouTube, right?
Yes.
Hello, YouTube, and which one is LinkedIn?
Oh no, that's not. We don't do that anymore.
Can somebody just start transcribing a letter of everything that I say to LinkedIn?
You should.
Okay, thank you. But no, this is something that...
This is a preview.
What's a preview?
Now we're live on Facebook.
Do I have to re-say everything?
Yes.
Did YouTube get it?
Yeah, YouTube got it.
YouTube got it. Okay. Hi, Facebook. How's it going? You're part of Sunday Fun Day here at Quite Contrary. It's always Sunday Live. Every Sunday is Sunday Live. We hope. My work schedule is about to change, so...
Oh, I'll do something if you're not here.
You'll do something if I'm not here? I shouldn't be working too many Sundays. But like I was just explaining to YouTube, we are going to be doing some E3 coverage. Now, if you're looking for like in-depth analysis of each game, I would suggest go watch E3 stuff, to be honest, because I don't want to reiterate a bunch of stuff. I just kind of want to give our take on the things that are actually relevant to us. This is something, actually, that Jonny didn't want to do at all. We're a movie review channel. We review movies. This has got nothing to do with movies. And I was like, well, the comic books only vaguely have something to do with movies.
The only way any of those things, both of those things work. Hold on, let me turn the volume off. Okay.
Okay.
The only way both of those things work
is that most movies have a comic book based upon them.
No, well, that's
actually, I was about to correct myself. There are a lot of comic books out there that are definitely based on their movies.
No. Okay, so those of you who don't know the history of Quite Contrary, it's a shoot-off or a sister channel or part of the network of Warlock's Entertainment System.
Did somebody say hi?
Yes.
Where's the Blood of
Hi
Heroes?
is Nuclear Luna. Where's the Blood of Heroes video? We're working on it. I was just thinking about... I'm not joking. I was literally thinking about that video today. What happened was Comic Palooza happened. And a lot of stuff is going on right now. But that is on the list. I promise you.
We actually just finished a request. I think it was our first request.
Right, since Comic Palooza.
From Herbert Midley.
Right.
Because we did his movie Rise of the Robots, which is going out tomorrow, right?
Yes, and actually it's out now for patrons.
Ooh,
right.
Patreon exclusive early content.
I gave it to them, and I also gave a link to the new people that are on our email list, which is people we met at Comic Palooza. But
finish your thought.
What I was trying to say was Warlock's Entertainment System came before Quite Contrary, and we are...
and it had no format.
So it didn't, but that's the reason we created Quite Contrary for an avenue for a certain type of video. So we have the Jonny Den channel, we have the Warlock's Entertainment System channel, and we have the Quite Contrary channel.
And coming soon, you don't even know about this, I'm announcing it right now, the revamped Zach Danmus channel.
Right.
Yeah.
That'll be part of the network too.
Gonna have a little bit more vlogging going on because the way I used to make videos is just time consuming. So it just takes way too long.
Right, and a lot of editing in general can just take forever. So the main point about all of this that I just said is that for us to do all this different content, all these different subjects, you guys just have to give us more money on Patreon so we can actually do this for a full-time job because this is impossible. Just wanted to get that out there. Anyway.
Okay, so
E3.
Today we're talking about E3. E3, the electronic gaming console, is what it is a 5-day long commercial.
Yes.
For video, or is it 3 days? Did it start today?
No, it started at the beginning of the weekend. Thursday or Friday.
I'm usually out of the loop on this kind of stuff. I was actually at the comic book store buying yet another giveaway that we are going to announce at, let's call it, we're going to announce it at 6:25. So if you can hang on until that time, you will learn all about the giveaway. But I was at the comic book store. I was purchasing a new giveaway just for you beautiful people out there. And my buddy David, my acquaintance David, he's a little guarded. I'm not gonna say buddy just yet. We'll see. Love you, David. But David was like, "Oh, E3 is going on right now. I'm not going to pay much attention to you while you're in the store." And luckily, I was able to find everything I needed on my own.
Oh man.
What?
Sorry, I hate the shot. I hate that shot.
Yeah, this looks like security camera footage at a Walmart.
Yeah.
Because the tripod is like 8 feet tall right now.
Yeah, it's pretty tall.
Of course, are you gonna have? Watch that Slack. Watch that Slack.
I see.
YouTube. No. Wait, I'm in Facebook.
Whoa.
Whatever.
Whoa. No, this is YouTube.
That's YouTube.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
So confused.
You think of Facebook? We need little labels for them. And I'll
Just for you.
I'll name YouTube Frederick, and I'll name Facebook Montgomery, and that's how we'll know.
Montgomery and Frederick.
Yes. Which one's which?
Montgomery and Frederick, right?
And what does that mean?
YouTube, Facebook.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to write that down somewhere else.
Okay.
Electronic Gaming Expo. I think that the worst thing about this so far is how long it's going, because I want more Nintendo content, and apparently I'm gonna have to wait till Tuesday. That's the thing that I am liking the least about this, because you know how much I love Nintendo.
I do know that.
Do you know why I love Nintendo?
Because they're one of the best gaming companies ever.
No!
And they make toys.
The toys, yes. They're just colorful and bright and everything I love about entertainment.
That's Nintendo's history. They started off making toys.
They're also the only ones that really do anything different.
Yeah.
Like, when
They
you...
persistently and consistently do things different.
Yeah. Well, not consistently. The thing is that the theming for what they do is consistent. It's Mario, Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do. And lately Splatoon has been bigger business, which is something that they're thinking we might see. I know.
Oh, come on.
What?
Galaxy did really well.
Mario. No, I'm not saying
Galaxy. What's the other one? What's
Odyssey.
The one? Odyssey.
No, I'm not saying these. I'm not saying these games don't do well, and that they're not unique.
Sure.
But they always have the same skin. It's like somebody has an interesting idea for a game, and then they're like, "Oh, I know. I'll just make it a Mario game," because like it's so far away.
We want to make a racing game. Let's make
Yeah.
a Mario Kart.
Although I will say this, Mario as a whole, or Mario Odyssey, is a very modern game. It's a very modern game, and that kind of bugs me. Not that new is bad, but the problem that I see with gaming in general is that new is the new old. Wrap your brain.
Oh God! Stop it!
Why are you like this? Turn down.
It was off.
Turn down system sounds. You won't need to hear anything.
That's true. You're right. My bad. Are you making? Oh, I see. That was a funny joke.
I made another funny.
I thought you were talking to Frank at first.
I'm so not chill. I'm usually chill. It's usually Sunday chill day.
Alright, let's
What are you
chill out.
looking at?
I just want to see what the up to the minute news was for IGN
If you do.
and E3.
Okay. Okay. What I mean by new is the new old is that every single new game that you run into nowadays is pretty much the same thing. If you're going to describe a video game, you're describing pretty much one thing. It's either a third or first person shooter with RPG elements in a sandbox style environment. You know?
That's a Dragon Ball fighting game.
Yeah, that's Dragon Ball Z: The Fighters, I think. I was really content with Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, 1 and 2, and I don't want to leave my my custom characters behind. My favorite was Ba. Do you remember me showing you Ba? I was really proud of Ba. She was a female Boo.
Oh,
Yeah.
vaguely remember.
Super cute.
Okay.
Either way,
We got a list of stuff. Hold on.
it's Sunday.
Oh,
It's Sunday Live.
Okay. So
Oh, and the thing is that this is looping back into something, and it's why I don't get excited for E3 too much anymore, because video games have become a particular type of product. You know, so basically you've got MMOs, and then you've got your third to first person sandbox shooter, and then you've got the Division, which is trying to be both and failing dismally. Which actually, the Division is on our list if you want to talk about it.
I don't have a lot to say about it.
Did you play it?
No, it was a game I was excited about playing because I actually do like some Tom Clancy titles.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, Ghost Recon was a big one for me.
What is the special thing about Ghost Recon? Honestly,
well, in past games, it was always about the squad combat. You usually had a squad of like 4 guys, and in the early days, in the very first Ghost Recon, it was about controlling the entire squad, and you could give out commands, and actually your guys would go do stuff.
kind of like SOCOM.
Yeah, it's very similar, and that's
That's an old reference. That's a really old reference. But that was before like multiplayer was so big. Now you would just ask people to do these things in a squad. People are talking. Oh. Frank's handling our social media. Thank you, Frank.
Frank, what are you trying to get at me?
Somebody commented about Sekiro.
Sekiro.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's the same guy that we were talking to.
Yeah, they're still getting on our
that
chops.
was that the fighting game that we didn't know, like the Dragon Ball Z one?
No.
Okay, I don't know what that word means.
It means hand hidden blade.
Okay.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Great.
All lie.
What was I talking about?
Shuriken is hand hidden.
Oh, we were talking
blade.
about Ghost Recon. So
Which
Ghost
is- yeah.
Recon was really cool squad combat. That one was really an attempt at making something that was somewhat realistic to like little like small infiltration type squad combat military stuff, and it was fun. It was good, and the game
It's gonna be great.
it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be great.
Ghost Recon evolved after that, of course, and the second one, and the ones came out as a Future Soldier, Advanced Warfighter. They just got more and more complex. They got more. The graphics, of course, increased and got better. I really enjoyed it, especially the one player mode. The multiplayer stuff always left you wanting more because it was not good.
Okay.
But then Wildlands came out and it became like an open world thing as well.
I think the weirdest thing about a lot of this is how Tom Clancy is the branding now.
Mm-hmm.
Because like he wrote he wrote
a lot of stuff.
No, but I think Splinter Cell was a game. The first Splinter Cell was a game that he actually wrote,
Okay,
or
I believe that.
or at least was one of the producers on it.
Yeah.
And you know that was right in the coattails of Rainbow Six, which was a super interesting game.
Yeah.
The new games that are out for it have absolutely nothing to do with it. And now Tom Clancy has become this brand. So several years after his death, he's still making these video games.
Yeah. Now isn't it John Krasinski now is the new guy?
He's the new Tom Clancy.
Well, he's in the.
He just puts on a
show.
tweed jacket and a pipe.
The guy that both Ben Affleck and Harrison Ford, and didn't someone else play him too, in the movies?
Not John Ryan, Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan. I was
I think
thinking John Kelly.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So it's supposed to be a new TV show.
Really, I didn't know that's happening, and I love the idea of John Krasinski being in that role. Actually,
Absolutely.
But the Division 2 got announced for the new E3, and I just underwhelmed.
See, I would play a game like that if I had more time. to be
No,
honest.
you wouldn't.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
you wouldn't. You know why?
why?
Because it's World of Warcraft with a modern tactical skin. Like you have the same problems.
No way.
No, okay. The thing is that like you have like boss characters,
Sure.
and the boss characters just soak bullets constantly, and so you're just a DPS character, throwing damage down, and then you've got like a tech savvy healing character that's got like drones and like they can patch you up
Sure.
on the fly and stuff like that. It's identical.
It's not.
The concept itself is identical. Only the theming is different, and that's what I was talking about with Mario. The new Mario Odyssey has him in a sandbox. Sure, he's doing 3D platforming stuff, but it's still like you have to modernize it down to MMO or these third-person sandbox games. That's what you have to do.
There is.
relevant, and the thing is, and so you go through.
You think Battle Royale stuff fits into the sandbox? Because that's the other. That's the
well,
type
okay.
that's getting-
Battle Royale is like the new.
It's new fad.
Yeah, which I think it's nice that there are some games like it. Not every game needs to be. I'm starting to think Halo Infinity might be one.
It might be.
Honestly.
It really might be.
But no, if you never played the Division, you have to respect the fact that what was supposed to be like this MMO of like,
Oh, hey, Keith.
hey Keith, what's up, baby? What you have to respect about the Division is that it was supposed to be like this tactical MMO where you set up fire teams and you go into like these buildings that nobody's been in for like a year and a half because you think that there might be some insurgent groups in there, and it's what you find in there are like bosses and trash, and there's ways to kite and there's ways to aggro, and like it's all the same.
There is a lot of
It's
you're
all
right.
the same
There's a lot of
stuff.
similarities between all these. It's what games have become. I mean, and it's the same thing. What happened like it's like everything was an RPG mixed with action adventure. But that happened for a long time. That's what Mass Effect was. That's what a lot of these other ones were.
That's what one of my favorite games, Deadpool, was like that, and I think that's
Are we the dinner time movie? I'm sorry. Keith said dinner time movie with an exclamation point. So okay, all right, cool. I just want to make sure.
Feel free to say any random collection of words at us.
Yeah, we'll repeat them on live YouTube.
We should just
Or
become
Facebook.
a Fiverr channel, to be honest. So we're talking about Battle Royale, and we touched a little bit on the Division, because unless they fix these issues, I don't really care.
Mhm.
The thing is, okay, do you think that if they did an actual like tactical team mumbo jumbo, what we thought the Division was going to be,
Mhm.
do you think people would even like it?
It would become one of those niche games. It would be what Tom Clancy games used to be in the 90s, where it was a small faction of people actually playing them. Like, I remember,
Did you ever play the original Rainbow Six?
No, not the original.
Tell me your memory.
Okay, so my memory is I was living in Austin at the time. Golden Squirrel Fish Time, and
Golden Squirrel Fish Time.
I was
thankful we all are for that. Thank you, Keith.
So it was in the 90s. I think it was probably the mid 90s, and I had a neighbor who was their dad, and we were friends with the kids, and the dad of the family.
You're really painting me a picture with words here.
I am.
Is there a video game in this story?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm getting there. The guy was a military nut.
It was 1978.
The guy was a military nut.
Okay.
And I remember sometimes he would let his kids play, and when I was there, he let me play this submarine game, the Tom Clancy submarine game.
Tom Clancy has a submarine game?
Yes, he
For
does.
what?
It was PC.
Oh, okay. Oh, that must have been good.
So I've
That must
always
have been an excellent
that that era of Tom Clancy games has always kind of painted a particular image of Tom Clancy games for me. But the thing is, it morphed in the 2000s. It changed into something different, more of an action adventure type of genre. When you see Tom Clancy on a game, it wasn't always the super nerdy niche thing anymore.
Mhm.
But I'm saying, if they stayed with that kind of game, and it was like you said, it would go back to that. We wouldn't have as big of an audience. That games are changing.
Well,
the underlying theming here is that games are changing because they sell more when they go a certain direction,
Yeah.
and that's what's happening.
Well, my argument is that games aren't changing. They're fitting
They
into
did change.
avenues of sameness.
Right, they did change, and they're realizing, oh, we make money with this, and then so it goes into these 4 neat little categories, and that's where you make your money.
If you're a social scientist of any kind, a social psychologist of any kind, please let us know if there's a particular effect that causes this, where everybody kind of wants to do the same thing. I know there's a mob mentality sort of thing, but the thing is that gaming has a lot of personal preferences, kind of oven baked into it, and I'd like to know how all of these individuals wound up seeking out. Oh, you know what? Answer my own question. Answer my own question.
Did you?
Yeah, it's got to be the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea that we can not only can we play together, but also we can one up one another, and that's very important. A lot of people talk about their KDRs and stuff like that, and they take a lot of pride in being better than other humans at video games,
Right.
which it's such a different experience. I don't know. There's been a couple of multiplayer games that I've been interested in, but I don't know overall if I'm super duper into it.
You prefer the one-player experience?
The one-player experience or the multiplayer co-op,
Yeah,
because that's the only way that you can really inject a narrative into it.
that's true.
To be honest.
Speaking of multiplayer.
Speaking of segues,
They were talking about DOA 6 at E3.
DOAs, of course. They
yeah,
are.
yep.
Did they fix the grab problem?
The grab
The
problem?
grab problem.
I don't know. They said that the the core mechanics are still basically the same.
So no. If you don't play DOA, I think
It's my fighting game.
I think like 3 and up, they started this counter system, and basically how.
Oh, the third installment and up.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Uh,
thought you said 3 and up like that's the age range.
oh, definitely. No, specifically 3 to 7.
Right.
That's why all the jiggle physics are in there.
Actually, they've taken a lot of that out.
They've taken a lot of the jiggle physics out.
That and they got asked that. I was watching an interview with one of the creators of the game, and
Jiggle physics, if you don't know, is the movement of
the breast
press.
panties. Yeah.
Press in the end, which was like a huge selling point for years. Not typically.
The original
forward
DOA.
thinking.
Here's a trick, guys. So the original DOA, what you do is you go into the settings and you find the age. You can change the age of all the characters. You increase that to 99, and those jiggle physics. Well, that's yeah. Okay.
They become the attacks, actually.
They do. But anyway, my point was DOA. Yeah. So DOA 6. They were talking about how.
No, I wanted to talk about because I was finishing a thought.
I'm sorry.
You swine.
You sounded like you were done.
You interrupted me in mid sentence. It sounded like there were no more noises coming from
You talk so much. I take a stab at where I think you're ending up.
No, there was this thing. I think 3 and up, where they have they had a new counter system at the time, and basically you hit your block button and backward.
For punches.
Yeah, at the appropriate time, and then
Everything was coordinated to up, down.
diagonal.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. So it was either so diagonal up and away, down and away, or straight away was the counter, and then unless it was everything was it made sense unless it was a mid kick. Mid
Yeah.
kicks were forward and counter or
Which-
block, whatever it
Is the stupidest thing.
was.
If a mid guard would save you from something, a mid guard should save you from everything.
Midgard, that's a different game.
Yeah. No, if it's just the process of grabbing. I know the hands have to be slightly different to catch a kick, but it was needlessly complicated for no reason, and for me it was incredibly counterintuitive. And I love fighting games, and I didn't want to take the time to learn something that arbitrary.
But okay.
I digress and give the floor to Jonny, DOA 6. You've learned something about this because for some reason you think it's relevant and good.
It's my fighting game. It's the fighting game that I've played for years. I really love the whole series. It's a lot of fun, and I love it because I was drawn into it because of how beautiful it looks. I mean, that's really what's striking about it first when you first pick it up to me. But then once you get you in there, it really is there is a really good mechanical fighting game in there. And
you're talking about DOA in general.
In general, right now.
Okay, I was like, you haven't played 6, you charlatan.
No, I have not played 6, but it looks really good. They did show a little bit of footage. And it looks really clean. I really like it. But my point was, some of the differences. It looks like there was a weird perspective change in DOA 5, where it seemed like you're further away from the characters. I like it. You look a little more closer up in 6. It looks like a bit in between 5 and 4 in 6.
Well, that's gonna change.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's gonna be a dynamic camera for the 3D environment.
and they're always a little bit dynamic. But where the resting camera, where it ends up, it felt really far away in 5. It was weird for that series.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing about that is like why fighting games started in the first place. And Mortal Kombat's like one of their inspirations was that they wanted larger characters on the screen.
Yeah.
And so you couldn't have a lot of large characters at once.
Right.
So they wound up just doing one-on-one matches.
Yeah, exactly. But the question that they did, I know he specifically asked about the interviewer. He asked about the jiggle physics and they just basically how scantily clad they were not in all the footage that he had seen so far, and they've actually gone in a direction where the costumes are actually a lot more tactical and make more sense for fighting characters.
When you say tactical, like they have weapons?
Well, some of them do, but they don't use them. And in fact, I should probably even say that because one character I think
Functional.
Yeah.
Might be the thing.
Right.
So I get the thing that's the most comfortable to fight in is whatever MMA fighters wear.
That's true.
They wouldn't wear something that was uncomfortable. I've never worn an MMA getup,
Right.
but it's got to be that.
Right. Sure.
Well, then again, there's
Booty shorts.
there's disciplines. There's disciplines like judo that.
Use the full gi.
Yeah.
They don't
because-
allow that anymore in UFC at least.
Oh no, of course not, because.
But there are some other MMAs in overseas that do still allow it.
So is everybody in MMA gear?
Not quite, but
Okay.
I'm just saying it makes more sense now. You don't see any scantily clad ninjas or anything weird like that. But he did leave a little when he answered the question. The guy who
Put a little asterisk on it.
he basically said because he's costumes to come out in the future. We can't promise that they won't be.
Of course, but they've always been ridiculous. And if you're not a fan of the series, like some of the big things have been like, usually you get a few cowgirl costumes. Frank's giving us a time. We are 4 minutes away from the giveaway. So if you are watching, please hang on. We will be here, and we're going to way simplify how you enter. By the way,
How are we gonna do it this time? Just comments. You just gotta say stuff during the stream.
Yeah, I think it would be better to do something during the stream, or you can comment on the video that's created by it. Either one is fine. But do we have new comments?
Oh, Keith said that his golden squirrel fish time it's goldfish memory retention mixed with squirrel attention span.
That is a stream of consciousness worthy of the Ultimate Warrior from WWF.
Yeah, I told him.
Absolutely love you, Keith. Thank you.
I told him it made sense.
So DOA's back. We don't know too much about it except that it's going to be a little bit more progressive when it comes to the way that they portray their females by actually giving them sports bras. As a martial artist, I can tell you when a woman enters a ring, there's a lot of support going on there.
Mm-hmm.
But none of that matters. Absolutely none of it matters.
It matters to me.
None of it matters because Kingdom Hearts 3 has been announced for the 17th time. Every single year they announce Kingdom Hearts 3, and it's become an American tradition.
I think it's been a ghost announcement because I don't think they've ever actually announced it.
No, they've talked about it multiple times.
Have they really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
I remember it always being like, if anything, a little trickle of nothing. And everyone else was getting real excited about it. Like, this is the year. This is the year.
Doesn't that describe Kingdom Hearts in general?
I don't know.
Shots fired!
I
Sounded more like a passing car. Frank, it's the live stream. You can say whatever you want. Frank, what is it?
That's pretty good. I like that, Keith.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Hearts 3 equal to Half-Life 3.
Yeah. Although Half-Life 3 is never coming out. We know that for a fact. Ugh. So, although I've never played Half-Life 2. So I was really happy to see, and the thing is that I hate Frozen. I was happy to see the Frozen trailer for
Kingdom Hearts 3, yeah.
Yeah, and
Toy Story's gonna be
Toy Story's in there, and Monsters Inc. is gonna be there, and I think that the character models probably look their best in Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
I think that this game is going to be just as gimmicky as Kingdom Hearts 2, unfortunately, but that's okay. I'm still going to adore it because I just love all the Disney cheese and the bright colors and just fantasy. And I think that's one of the reasons that I'm not as hardcore a gamer as I used to be, because everything boils. They're pushing realism, and well, they're sort of, but not with battle royale stuff. But there are even like battle royale. There's even battle royale stuff that's supposed to be tactical and military minded and stuff like that. And I just like color and fantasy. And Jonny is leaving just in time for the giveaway.
No. I'm not going very far.
Oh no, you're just pulling out a ladder and doing stuff. What is?
I want the shot to look good. And I forgot about that light.
Okay, and it is exactly 6:25, which means, Frank, I'm going to need you ready to write this down because I'm going to say some specific stuff, and I'm not going to remember it. But as many of you remember, actually, as none of you remember, okay.
Keith was there. I think he watched a little bit of it.
Last week on Zach Bags and Boards, our giveaway was issue 0 of Red Sonja, and the interesting thing about that is that nobody actually won it. So we still have our copy of Red Sonja, and this copy of Red Sonja is going to include an additional page written and illustrated by me. Actually, it's going to be a little bit of a mini comic just because it's difficult to just tag on to the last of it. But because we still have this one, this week we are going to include issue 1 of Red Sonja. And this is, what I like about this is that I've thumbed through this a little bit, and you can see a little bit of on the cover. This is Red Sonja lost in New York, essentially. She's back in the modern era, and which means that they get to update her costume a little bit, because I love the theming of Red Sonja, but the scale mail bikini, it's not super, it's not great for the new millennium. Or we're halfway through the millennium now. Numbers don't matter. But either way, I love it because they're turning her into a motorcycle mama with a sweet hog and a bomber jacket. And if you enter into our giveaway, you are going to get both, which does include the additional page for issue 0, illustrated and written by yours truly. And if you would like to be put into the drawing for our giveaway, all you have to do, and this is both platforms, Facebook and YouTube, all you need to do is leave a comment on the either on the video that's on Facebook, or leave a comment that's on YouTube, and all it needs to say is "Quite contrary, Red Sonja giveaway." That automatically enters you into the contest. We're gonna pull one. We're gonna pull one name from the hat. They're gonna get both issues and the page illustrated and written by me, and we are gonna pay for the shipping as well. Whatever. I mean, it's gonna weigh less than a pound, so it's not gonna matter. But either way, you won't have anything to do after that except that we're going to reach out to you and figure out exactly how you would like to receive the thing. The drawing will take place. What's today's date?
It is the 10th of June.
The 10th of June. Let's give everybody, let's see, June 13th.
Mm-hmm.
June 13th, 11:59 p.m.
Okay.
That's, well, I hate saying midnight.
No, I got
Which
you.
one are you talking about? So June 13th. 11:59 p.m. is when the drawing will be held. You have that long. Say "Quite contrary, Red Sonja giveaway," and that's all you got to do. Leave a comment on one of these videos, and you are golden. Johnny, do you feel like stopping the live stream?
No.
I don't feel like stopping the live stream either. What would you like to do?
I'd like to talk about.
Well, we were in the middle of talking about Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, we can continue. You can keep talking about that. I don't have a lot to say.
I'm gonna be on Twitter book.
I'm trying to get something to work. I'm
What?
sorry. A picture.
Take a picture, it'll last longer.
I'm trying to get this picture.
Okay. So, now, what did I mean by what?
He says, don't stop, can't stop.
Don't stop, can't stop, won't stop.
It says,
Don't stop, canned stop. Canned stopped. Does the word canning jar ever confuse you, Frank? I hate it. It's a can or it's a jar. That's like saying hot tub car. Wait. There are hot tub cars. My whole life is a lie. I don't know. Do you think midway through? Do you want to go an hour? I'm having fun.
Yeah, an hour sounds great.
How many people are actually watching, Frank? I love how our technical producer's like, I don't know things. Oh my god, you're still okay. So
No, I got it. I did.
what I meant, there are 4 people. Hello, you 4 beautiful people on which platform? YouTube. Hello. Okay, now there's 3 of you. Oh, you're one of them. Okay, good. So what did I mean by Kingdom Hearts 2 being gimmicky? I think my biggest problem was there was like these it's been a while since I played that game, but there were these reaction commands that bosses essentially needed to be killed in specific ways with specific movements that didn't fall into Sora's moveset, because some there's ability points and you'd have to pay for them, and you have to make sure that they're equipped, and that would have been a hassle. So what they said was that we're going to have these special movements for particular bosses, and they're just going to pop up when necessary. And the problem with having so much of the game devoted to that was the fact that the final boss was nothing but hitting the same button over and over and over again, because it was supposed to play out in a super particular way, which I hated, because the first Kingdom Hearts set me up to believe that magic was going to be the most powerful thing if you were willing to learn the button inputs, which is something that I really liked about it. If you wanted to use your blade all the time, that was fine. You learned the combos, and it was a much faster paced thing, where the magic was more strategy based, and then the shield had more to do with the numbers, and that was great. All 3 ways of playing it were absolutely fine. But I spent time maxing out magic, doing everything I needed to do to make the best mage that I could in the second Kingdom Hearts game, expecting a similar result, which I got all the way up to the end, and it really just kind of took the wind out of the sails. Frank is waving a phone
I
at
see
me.
it.
Frank's waving what? Oh. We'll do, Keith. I almost called you Frank. You can both be Frank. It's fine. Oh man, we can start the Super Frank Club. Why? You want to be the only Frank? It's not even your name. All right. Kingdom Hearts 3 looks like it's going to be as gimmicky. But like I said, couldn't possibly care. It's kind of like I don't know that I would have been particularly interested in Super Mario Odyssey if it hadn't been a Super Mario game, and I know that makes me the worst person ever. But it's the truth. The thing that made Mario fun in the past was like really unique gameplay and trying new things all the time. And what makes Super Mario fun now is Super Mario 64. and Galaxy. Galaxy had a cool gimmick too. And you can't say that Super Mario Odyssey doesn't. Actually, you know what? I'm rejecting the whole statement. It's a very unique game because I forgot about all of the abilities that you have. You haven't played the game, have you?
Nope.
You can hijack the brains of other people.
Sounds very intrusive.
It really, really is, especially when you're the T-Rex. You know, you weigh like 20 tons, and you're like literally breaking down walls to get into new areas, and then you don't want to deal with the T-Rex afterwards, so you just throw him off a cliff.
Oh God.
Yeah, the old Yoshi ditch. Like I said, looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 3. Don't care that it's going to be on Xbox now. Don't really care at all. That was part of the big announcement. Just because I don't have any brand loyalty and I've never understood it. Never understood it for a moment. Johnny, you're a brand guy. Can you explain your dogged devotion to the inferior platform to PlayStation, the Xbox?
It's not inferior.
Well,
It actually has now with the Xbox One X, you can actually get.
You can actually buy a brand new system for more money.
Absolutely, because of the power of that system is much better, and you can get the absolute highest resolution and quality of picture.
See, I was talking about sales.
So you're telling me that sales makes something inferior to something else.
It's obvious that
If something's a better product, it's just a better product. What does it matter, to you personally, unless
we're talking about metrics here, baby.
that's not what you said. You said it was an inferior platform.
It is an inferior platform. It doesn't sell as well.
That's not what inferior means.
People don't like it.
Okay.
And it's what it can mean to me because
It's gonna make a comeback.
Because inferior is a qualitative statement, which are like impossible to prove.
Well, when the new Halo comes out.
Oh my God, the new Halo.
I'm sorry, I can't even finish that statement. It looks bad.
It does.
We don't know what it is.
You
They
know
won't
what?
tell us what it is.
It doesn't look good or bad. It doesn't look either.
No, it doesn't. It looks boring. There's nothing there.
One of the reasons that I urged you guys to go watch E3 coverage if you're interested in like the particular little factoids that
We
are
plan on
coming out.
losing everybody watching this when Bethesda's. I think for our time, Central Time, so I think 7:30. I think is when Bethesda's conference starts. I don't expect anyone to be watching this at that point.
But I was listening to some of these people who get paid a lot of money. These entertainment pundits, and they stretched out the Halo teaser longer than the Halo teaser.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, and you see Master Chief, like you see these three guys, and they're coming through the rings, and then the camera pans up and onto the horizon, you see the helmet of the Master Chief, and then you get that iconic sound. Like
That explanation does take longer than the
nobody cares.
No.
Nobody cares. You know why? No gameplay.
Right.
No gameplay in it. Although I'm gonna eat my own words in a second.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I thought I was going to with Devil May Cry, but Devil May Cry actually did contain some gameplay footage in it. But it's like you got to let us know what the product's going to be like. It's like if you had a new sandwich coming out from McDonald's, and the promotion for the sandwich was like just a tap dance number from Kelsey Grammer. Like
Strangely specific.
That's great. Glad he's still active. Like Kelsey Grammer as a performer, and I do think that he's a person with a lot of perseverance. But tell me a little something about the sandwich. Tell me a little something about Halo, about how Halo is going to be played, because the speculation, I'm sure, is getting wild.
It's getting ridiculous.
Because you pointed out that the game itself doesn't look like it's particularly like. What was it, the resolution that bugged you, or the character models?
Yeah, the quality of the picture that they showed us of that video made it look like it's gonna be one of these it's going to follow one of those trends we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, which
Like
the
if you're doing
emphasis is going to be off the narrative and thusly off of the presentation.
if you're doing like a battle royale type system, or you're doing something like that, it's not going to be graphics are not going to be crazy. They're
Right.
not, they're going to because they have to keep that subdued so that you can have that many players on screen, so the bandwidth isn't going out insane for everybody.
When it comes to theming for a battle royale, though, I'm sure there are lots of Halo fans that would be like way into it.
I would probably play it, and that might be even a fun game, but I don't like the presentation so far. I don't like not knowing. I think this is a little bit, and it was weak. It was a weak presentation.
It was what, 30 seconds long?
Something like that.
Yeah, guys walk up through. It's exactly what I described.
Yeah.
Guys walk up through rings, camera pans, and you see the back of Master Chief's knees, and he's holding one of his helmets.
Well, he has one.
Well, he has one type.
Sure.
I'm sure he's got more. You think he's only got one change of clothes?
Yes.
Okay.
I think there's a state-of-the-art cleaning system inside the suit.
Oh god. So it always smells like pine saw.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a bunch of Febreze.
So Axe.
Axe.
You know your audience.
Yeah.
And he's holding his helmet by his knees, so you can see the iconic Master Chief face, and of course, and that's it. And of course, the crowd goes wild because after Guardians was a game that didn't have Master Chief in it, or he was the bad guy, right?
No. Yes, kind of. I actually, that's the first Halo. Oh man, the first Halo ever that I have not finished the single player campaign. But it was. I think there's two main characters in that. Oh, Locke was the other guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the issue here that I have, and of course I'm not a big Halo fan,
Right.
is that Jonny said that everyone was going to get excited because we're continuing the story of Master Chief and we're going to learn more about him. And I couldn't care less.
Right. The article.
And it's not that I don't think that you should develop characters in games.
Right.
I think that Master Chief is one that doesn't bear development.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like James Bond in that way. He's supposed to be a blank slate for you to inject yourself into the fantasy world, rather than have this really specific backstory that as we pile on more and more and more, you relate to less and less and less, because to my knowledge, there's never been a space marine.
What, in real life?
Yes.
Oh. Well, what's interesting about that is the lore is there. You could read about the story of Master Chief.
You're going to read a book.
And his origins. I'm just saying it's there. Like, the content is there if you wanted to figure out more about the character.
No venom from Frank as I besmirch books in general. Okay.
She's lost in something over there. And it's not a book. I think it's her phone.
Either way, you were saying.
Was I?
Yes.
What was I saying? No, what was I saying? I thought I ended my thought, and then you carried.
You were
the
talking
torch from there.
about the lore of Master Chief.
Oh no, that was it.
That was it.
It exists. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
The character does have a story. It's not always in the video games. Traditionally, yes, it's kind of a blank slate. You don't really. There's nothing there, but it's kind of an illusion because he does have a story.
Yeah.
But
not in the games.
Yeah, and most people probably don't even read the books.
Right. Now, when it comes to lore versus game, I don't care about the lore of Halo, but I like to play it.
Yeah.
Wow, this is like I almost feel dirty having such a good segue, so I had to break it up. I felt a little too sleazy, which I am still improvising, by the way, so you should respect that. Thank you. I like the gameplay of Halo, but I'm ambivalent to the story, and I don't like the gameplay of Fallout.
Yeah.
But I adore its lore. It also rhymed. Jesus, what am I becoming? I'm a marketing machine.
Maybe, but that statement is nuts.
Why?
Because the gameplay is great.
The
in Fallout.
gameplay is so lame.
Which one are you talking about?
All of them, they're repetitive and so far away and so far removed from like what they're putting together is like this really solid story and this really lived-in world. And then you've got the side missions. Why? Why do I need to spend over 100 hours to complete one game in a meaningful way?
Hold the hell on.
Yeah.
You don't have to do all that. That's the freedom of those games. You don't have to do anything.
Okay, but the game is going to bug the crap out of you if you don't. We learned that with Fallout 4. It's going to remind you over and over and over again. In other Bethesda games, side stories, side missions would try to kill you.
Right.
In Elder Scrolls, that wasn't uncommon. The assassins would come after you, and you have to go quell that nonsense.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you do. So yes, you do. The game is going to poke you over and over and
With
over
what?
again with assassins or the guy with the Australian hat in Fallout 4.
You're going through. You're walking through a world that exists. These different side things that poke you are things that would happen in a world where you're not the main character, which is what it kind of does. It paints a world that exists without your character.
That's never
which is actually really cool.
No one's ever given me a side quest before.
What, in the real world?
In the real world, no one's ever.
You never had to pick up dry cleaning? That's a side quest.
That's for me.
Yeah.
No one's ever been. No one's ever been like, oh, the city of Lockheed needs their dry cleaning picked up. If we're talking about realism, it's so far from it because everybody is so super focused on you, and you're the only one that's capable of solving problems.
Zach, this is a very unique perspective that you're sharing with us
Thank you.
because everybody loves the side missions.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you don't like the side mission, you don't have to do it.
No, but the game is gonna bug me over and over and over again about it. By far.
It does not.
Yes, it does.
It is not. If there's
my-
a side mission that you skip, it doesn't tell you that you have to go back and do that side
No,
mission.
it's going to have a different version of it later, and ask me to do it again. There's always a new settlement.
Oh my
There's
God.
always an assassin.
Oh
there's
God.
always stuff. There's always this crap you need to do around it that's like so far away from it. And the thing is that it's so far away from the parts of the story that actually make Fallout interesting. Which is why I'm excited that they're doing a prequel. Because we're going to be doing a little bit. 76 is going to be a prequel, and we're going to be rebuilding the world.
Yeah.
Which, of course, we all know that we fail in doing so.
Yeah.
Terribly so.
Yeah.
Because even, what if Fallout
Fallout.
4 was like 300 years after,
I don't
it
know.
was like 377?
Yeah, the 76, the Vault 76. I believe if I read the lore correctly, was the vault that was supposed to be the first vault that opened after.
Right.
Yeah, the disaster. Yeah.
Mhm.
Nuclear fallout.
And so there will be very few people on the surface of the planet, except for possibly ghouls. That's what they call them, right? Ghouls.
Yeah, there's ghouls, there's mutants.
Yeah. Well, yeah, ghouls, super mutants, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But some ghouls can actually be spoken to. Some ghouls actually are.
Some remain retain their intelligence. Yeah.
But I'm interested to see exactly how things went so wrong because by Fallout 4, which is the one that's furthest along in the story, there's still not a lot of infrastructure. Things go really bad, and you have all of these warring factions, and nothing really gets solved.
Right.
My hope is that because this is a prequel, they're going to use the power of modern gaming, which is the way that we deal with files and saving things actually in computer systems. And I hope that they're going to announce something for Fallout 4 where the choices you make in 76 will start to affect Fallout 4. That would be my hope.
That would be interesting. What I also find interesting about the whole thing is that the last few that have happened, 3 and 4, and I think New Vegas 2, as well. There's not a New Vegas 2.
Yeah.
Those all actually happen within like a 30-year span or something similar to that. There's not a whole lot of years in between those. So this is actually the furthest gap we're actually getting from those is with 76. We're going not just in the past, but we're going a lot of years in the past.
Yeah.
So you're going to see a much different Fallout, which is going to be really fun.
I will say this. This is not the way I was hoping that the game would go. I was hoping to see Fallout 76 play out entirely inside of a Fallout shelter.
That's what I thought. By the original trailer they put out, I thought that's what they were going to do.
Yeah, and it would just, like, the experiment would have been like recreating, like having a turnkey society. We literally build a society, and we have a bunker that's big enough. We have a vault that's big enough to have an actual society in it, and then they come out and reclaim the Earth. And so this thing would be expansive, and obviously the narrative would have something to do with like broken seals and monsters getting into it, and maybe there's a bad guy that caused that to happen. That would have been fun.
The exciting thing about that concept that you just described to me would be that it would be probably what I would hope it would be two different games, like two halves of a game. You spend the first half of the game actually making choices that will influence the strengths and the weaknesses of your people, and then you get to try those in the real world.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, because then you know you have to make adjustments once you get out there.
For it to be a meaningful change and to actually have the scope necessary for it, it'd be cool if every level was a different generation.
Yeah.
Like you have your character, and then when you hit level 2, you become your son or daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, and so it happened over years and years.
There's a
and
lot
years.
of fun things you could do with that.
Yeah. Or it could even be several years down the line. I don't know how long it takes for nuclear fallout to settle. Something on that scale. It also causes a tremendous nuclear winter that's just from dust. So it'd probably be a long time, but still, I think that they kind of compressed that over in the in terms of the actual science.
Yes, that's actually part of something I read in an article about this game, was that the timing was wrong, because the way that this is set up, it looks like this vault is actually going to be opened in the game ahead of schedule.
Okay. And at a time when the Earth would be unlivable.
Right.
Yeah. And honestly, the nuclear winter should have killed pretty much everything on the surface of the planet, including things like super mutants and ghouls, because it just makes things cold. Never. Either way.
It's a video game.
I want to talk about the gameplay.
I haven't seen it yet.
No, it's just that you were talking about how the gameplay is so much fun. It's shooting guys.
Oh, you're referring back to what I was talking
Yeah,
about.
it's shooting guys, and you have the VAT system, but honestly, Bethesda notoriously has like small teams that make these games, and it's not a criticism. I know it's difficult to make 3D games, but when you have a small team, and deadlines to meet, sometimes you put things in there that make it a little easier to program. And the VAT system always felt like, oh, we don't have to have a terribly accurate shooting interface. Because we can supplement with stats, and we don't have to supplement with stats by doing real time by doing real time targeting correction or anything like that. They literally just pick their spot, and if they have good stats, it's a high chance the bullet will hit. That's it.
Yeah, but that's optional.
But it's the optimum strategy. It is the optimum.
It does usually work better.
Yes, it's
but
by far the optimum strategy.
Right. But that's also an extension of the originals, 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Which the only combat was the VAT system.
Right.
Maybe it's a convenient excuse, but I think it works.
And there are ways to do it in real time, but then again, I'm not going to criticize the programmers. Programmers have a very difficult job. Actually, no segue for this one. What else is on the list? Because it's a lot. Oh, I know. We were talking about Halo and how it had almost nothing. I'm super excited about Devil May Cry 5.
I'm sorry, 1 second.
What?
Hey, Frank, was that on Facebook?
No.
Where was that?
Private conversation with one of your fans.
You're having private conversations with one of our fans.
Yay!
And that fan had a request.
Yes.
And that request was that he wants us to kiss.
Yes.
He wants us to kiss what?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Did he say what we have to kiss?
That's asking all the right questions.
Each other.
Is that what it said? Why don't you read it out?
Also, I want his name.
And his phone number.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to call him right here, live on the show.
The other guy's a little odd. LOL. They should kiss or put a boob in his mouth so he stops talking.
Oh, boy.
The other guy?
The other guy.
Oh, that's got to be you.
I mean, you're the one who knew most of talking.
Yeah.
So I got to be the other guy.
Okay. Devil May Cry 5. Devil May Cry 5 had the big announcement. This is something that you don't care about Devil May Cry at all.
I've seen it played.
Devil May Cry is one of those games that I adore because it is truly mental bubblegum.
Yeah.
It asks very little of you and gives you beautiful visuals along the way. Just spam your attack button.
But see, doesn't he lock on to the character or it's like
Yeah.
the old school Tomb Raider? Like he locks on.
He has in previous installments, but the thing about that is that the challenge came from fighting hordes. You had to manage your lock on.
Mm-hmm.
And also, and they could dodge and stuff like that, you know. And I like those kinds of interfaces in games because when you're trying to hit something with a sword, you don't often start a combo and then when someone gets out of the way of the combo, you just keep slicing air.
Yeah.
You know, you follow people in real time, so I'm fine with that. This is kind of undoing the damage that DMC did. The thing is that I liked DMC.
The original?
No, it was. I think it was actually the fifth game in the series. But they modernized it way too much, and Dante basically looked like Channing Tatum. And yeah, but the thing is that like Dante was a video game icon. You know, so much so that he showed up in stuff like Marvel vs. Capcom and stuff like that. And he was a red jacket, just straight up ripped K-pop star, abs and chest, and you know, platinum blonde hair.
Yeah.
You know, it was really iconic. Every time you saw Dante, you're like, yeah, that was Dante. And they modernized him, and in doing so, they made him way less interesting. The original Dante's back. He's got kind of an annoying voice and kind of an annoying personality, but that's Dante for you. It's a different annoying personality, but still annoying. And he's just going to be slicing up demons wholesale, and that's all I need.
Okay.
That's all I need. It's just going to be a fun, wacky adventure.
You said something that I just realized, like, that made me realize, yeah, he used to be a staple.
Yeah.
And he kind of just, he went off the deep end. Like, he almost went the way of Spyro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was DMC.
Yeah.
You know, people didn't like DMC because they took away his iconography. They made him too relatable. You know, instead of just they made him too relatable, and in doing so, they took away what made him special.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're giving us a secret message. Huh? Oh, time.
Nope.
Oh, you'd like us to wrap it up? Okay, so Frank said.
Well, you were going to ask me about racing and sports games.
Racing. Okay, so we'll end on racing and sports games because
Okay.
that's something I want to talk to you about. Because like FIFA and Forza, you know, they're having huge announcements for E3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there are details. I know that the British environments are going to be big in Forza and stuff like that. As I understand it, in the FIFA game, they will be kicking a soccer ball
Mm-hmm.
or a football for our European audience.
Mm-hmm.
They're out there. But the reason that I don't play these games is because they're too real. I know that there's a barrier for entry for professional soccer
Yeah.
and racing,
Sure.
but I can be Star Fox for the same price if I wanna. You know, I can be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle if I wanna.
Mm-hmm.
So why focus on this stuff that the stakes are super low, the concept is incredibly realistic, and the gameplay just repetitive?
It's easy to explain.
Okay.
People have different preferences on fantasy.
That feels wrong.
What I just said?
Yes.
Why? Because everyone's not like you.
Right. That's strange to me.
Yeah. No. Some people just idolize
Sports stars.
sports stars.
Specific cars.
I was gonna say cars. They make that a part of their fantasy.
Uh-huh.
And that's really all it boils down to. And I've never been a FIFA fan as far as the sports games go. I have played a long time ago. I used to play some of the football games, American football games, but I have enjoyed racing games. I do have a mild fantasy with the cars because it's a lot of fun, and putting yourself in the driver's seat of a car you'll never be able to afford,
Mm-hmm.
and taking it through the Swiss Alps or wherever they go,
Mhm.
and can be fun.
Well, that's kind of one of the reasons I thought it'd be fun to do Drive Club. Remember Drive Club?
That was a game, wasn't it?
That was the MMO.
Was it called? Was it called
I thought it was.
The Crew?
The Crew. That's
Okay.
what it was. The Crew.
Yeah. Because there was a don't think it's Drive something else. Anyway, I thought you were combining two different things.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I thought that the Crew would have been interesting because it's a little less formulaic.
Mhm.
Instead of like, I'm evoking my father because he loves the Forza games and he always buys all the Corvettes.
Has he always wanted to own a Corvette?
He owned a Corvette.
Oh, did he?
He didn't like it. He didn't like the real Corvette.
So his fantasy is liking a Corvette.
No.
He doesn't actually like the Corvette because he
His-
owned one.
No, his fantasy is his reality. He likes the video game Corvettes
Right.
because the seat feels exactly like his recliner. That he didn't fit well into a Corvette specifically.
Nobody does.
Yeah, yeah, I'm evoking my father here, saying, you know, the fantasy is, you know, going and getting all these specific cars, but it's locked into like this really specific racing thing.
Right.
This racing format, rather than one of the games that if I was going to get into a racing game, it was a long time ago. I don't even remember the name of it, but it was so interesting to me because it was a street racing game.
Yeah.
Where you're actually out in the streets and like you challenge people as they come past you, or they'll challenge you.
I know Need for Speed had a couple like that. I don't know if that's the one you're talking about.
Okay.
They had some similar ones.
And I thought that was interesting. Ultimately, it's destructive.
Mm-hmm.
Because it does say, "Hey, go street racing is super fun, and
Yeah.
it's super dangerous, and something you shouldn't do." It actually kind of makes you a bad guy,
Right.
if you're a street racer,
Right.
Which is one of the reasons that I didn't like
Cruising USA,
Cruising USA.
because they had civilian cars on those streets while you're racing, and
Yes.
that's not what you should be doing, kids.
Yeah,
No
And,
street racing.
Kitching, I think was the name. Kitching sounds wrong. The process of holding on to cars to get a speed boost while you're on some sort of rolling means of conveyance.
What?
Is it skitching?
Oh, you're talking about like if you're on a like rollerblades or a skateboard,
Yeah.
holding onto the back. Yeah, I learned that in Back to the Future. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So you would say that Back to the Future causes more video game violence than anything else.
yeah, and I think that's what we need to take away from this episode.
I think that's our real thesis here.
Right. It took a while to get there, but we got there.
If you're still hanging on, I want to thank you for staying all the way to the very
Remind
very end.
them about the comic giveaway.
The comic giveaway. Do not forget. Okay, if you would like to be entered into our giveaway, it is super duper easy. All you have to do is leave a comment on this, on whatever video you're watching. Leave a comment, and all it needs to say is "Quite Contrary Red Sonja giveaway."
By whatever video, he means the Facebook version of this video or the YouTube one.
Right, and they're available in perpetuity, right?
I believe both. of
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
You'll be entered in. We'll take care of everything else. We'll have to reach out to you to figure out exactly where you'd like it, where you'd like us to send it. But like I said,
I haven't seen
that's
the
all
new one.
on us.
Is this the new one?
Yeah, it's just her lost to New York.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, see, look at her.
Yeah.
Yeah, there she is, putting on a shirt and pants. Finally.
Yeah, that's cool. That's-
because she did not do that previously. That was not her jam. Like I said, Red Sonja giveaway. Very happy to be giving this away to you guys. And the Red Sonja issue 1 will contain a mini comic that was written and illustrated by yours truly.
And we plan on giving away something every Sunday. We plan on being live every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Time. So make your adjustments if nobody's watching outside of the Central Time Zone. But just in case, if you
There might be one.
there might be one. But anyway, we want to continue going live every Sunday, doing something. We do Zach Bags and Boards. We're gonna do stuff like this. We're gonna do other stuff. Lots of stuff. I'm using a lot of descriptors.
Real strong ending there, Jonny.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next week. And for now, I think it's time to say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Don't forget to say hi to your mom.
This isn't going to be graceful because in order to actually stop things,
We have
have to
to
hit
get up
buttons, and Frank is bluntly
Because
refusing
Frank
to
is
do it.
terrible at this.
Frank, do it faster! Faster, Frank, please! I can't be on camera anymore. I'm allergic.